All right, it is Thursday, February 16th at 6:01 PM. All commissioners are present with the exception of Gail Lemure and Joe Pulcini. If any of them zoom in, I will make a note of that for our absent secretary. All right, audience of citizens. Anyone wish to speak?
Sure, I do.
Bill Rogers,
Bill
address.
Bill Richards.
Bill Richards, sorry.
Richards, 811 Orchard Road, Kensington. And just to follow up in our pre-meeting discussion about number of commissioners and Dave Fox, Rich Slees and I presented our case to the town council. And they were in agreement that we should be represented on this commission. I was just wondering if anybody in this room heard anything other than what may have come out of that meeting or any decisions.
Have not heard anything.
No.
I know there's a meeting Tuesday. There's an ordinance meeting on Tuesday, and I don't know if that's gonna be brought up on Tuesday or not.
The mayor said he was gonna get in touch with Rich.
He did. I don't know if he did or not. He said that, yes. I don't know if
He says a lot.
did get in touch with Rich. Because there was a discussion, Rich talked to me about, a couple of alternatives. One would be to add myself onto the commission temporarily as a voting member for this year. And then as a full-time member when and if somebody comes off in the near future or next year. That's what I heard.
The ideas floating around, there's some ideas floating around. But to become a voting member, that would have to go through the whole rigmarole of the ordinance change. So, that's probably, I don't know what they wanna do.
Okay.
Personally, I know I'm speaking as, not even a commissioner, I'm just speaking as a taxpayer and a resident here, is that they knew this 3 years ago, they knew it this year, they elected to do nothing about it,
Mhm.
and now because somebody complains about it, now they're going to react instead of being proactive, and when does it stop? When does it stop? There is no question whatsoever that you guys should be represented on the commission. You're 110 members strong, right?
Yeah, at least that.
So-
Yeah, it could go up to 130.
There's no question that you should have representation on the commission. But it's not the fault of the commission that you're not here. You
Yeah,
know?
no, I understand the
It's
situation.
the council and it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
You were represented before.
You were represented.
Jeff Arup. We all know that. And whatever transpired or happened after that,
Mhm.
it is,
Yeah.
and next thing you know,
You
I think
know-
Jim is the one that replaced Mr. Rue.
how did Joe?
Joe Pulcini did.
Oh, okay, stand corrected.
Because you had, Rich Nappy.
Nappy was on, I think
That's
I
right.
He took
took
Nappy's
Nappy.
place. He took
That's right,
Nappy's
that's
place.
right.
But like you said, you want a senior to represent you guys. That basically that's what you're looking for. Have
Yeah,
a sister.
for the senior
But the
league,
thing
to be
is
on the
like,
commission.
I mean,
Not a senior, but a senior member of
The men's club.
Men's club, senior men.
so you're not in the senior men's club,
No, but I might consider joining.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
And then well,
yeah.
you're back to square one again. Because if he joins, then you got somebody to back you guys up. If Jimmy joins, I don't know,
We're all seniors.
we're all seniors. So that's what
Let's
it's
just call it
called.
what it is.
Yeah.
Except for
He
Saul.
was.
Yeah.
Except for Saul, he's a young buck.
But we're
Almost there.
And I
Next
had
one on Tuesdays, right?
Mondays and Tuesday mornings.
Bill, I had a conversation with Rich, and I asked Rich, I says, Rich, in the past several years, when you haven't been represented, has there been any decisions made by this commission that was detrimental to the senior men's club? And the answer was no. Because we do all care about every member of Timberland, and we do care about every club, because they make up the core of Timberland. But he did say, well, you know, I was, with the clock, you wanted to take our donation spot away and move it. And that was never the case. And I corrected him on that. What I suggested is that we collaborate that space together and absolutely recognize the senior men's club as being the major donor of that area and having a new plaque made and everything else. It was never mentioned to move that out of there.
Yeah, I'm not,
So that's the only thing that he mentioned
okay,
that, that could have gone awry, but he misunderstood what the whole idea was about. We have everyone's intention at heart here. Let me tell you something. Senior Niner right there, she represents all the seniors, on the weekdays, right, Nis? She looks out for everybody. So, I mean, you definitely have a champion there, and you have a champion with all of us. Listen, if they, it's ultimately their decision. If they wanna add a ninth member, they're gonna add a ninth member of the commission. There isn't a hoot we can do about it. But you need to know that they did know about this, and they told you they didn't. And it's disappointing that they took that way out, and instead of, you know what, we messed up, let's work it out, let's figure it out. Okay, that didn't happen, so that's kind of like the fury, the frustration as it be. Okay, just want you to know everything, but there is an ordinance meeting coming up on Tuesday.
okay.
And I think they're going to discuss that then.
Oh, there is an ordinance meeting come up Tuesday?
There is.
Are we on it?
For what?
No,
Well, we've been trying to get on it
No,
for years.
No, we are not.
Oh, that's disappointing right there.
It is what it is.
What's the difference between a voting member and a commission member?
Well, the commissioners can vote.
Yeah,
See,
If he's a
and I
voting member.
also suggested that, because you come to every meeting, right? And you have opinions and you should have a say. I asked the question, well, if somebody is here and they come to every meeting, can they only speak during audience of citizens? And the answer is no. If you acknowledge them, they can speak during the meeting, which was the intent. If you have anything to say during the meetings, raise your hand like any commissioner, you'll be heard. You're definitely welcome to do that. So,
So that's a mixed message,
Yeah.
because
yeah,
I was on the Water Control Commission as an alternate, alright? Once the meeting started, I couldn't say boo.
well,
I couldn't say boo. And they wanted to Kate Wall, and we got, a ruling on that.
well, I was told
So-
differently, so I mean,
That's okay, I'm just telling you.
we would find that out for sure.
Yeah.
So whoever's chairing,
who told you that? Kate, that he can,
no.
Oh.
No. But I mean,
Well,
it wasn't a definite, we
I-
were exploring possibilities,
got it.
it wasn't a definite,
but you know what,
but we would have explored that, because I don't see, you know what? I mean, this is all for the betterment of Timberland, I mean, if
yeah.
this gentleman wants to speak, if I'm chairman, I'm gonna let him speak,
We've done that before, we did that before with some of the meetings that they had for the,
absolutely.
geez, I can't even think anymore, the New Park and Rec Center, or the senior center, or whatever you wanna call it, and, it was back and forth conversations, which it should be.
And
As far as I'm
you know what,
concerned.
the mayor, if somebody's got something to say during the town council meeting.
They say it.
They talk.
say it.
And in Park and Rec, I was on the Park and Rec, if somebody wanted to talk, Lenny always let them speak. So, I mean, I would definitely get an answer on that, but all different kinds of options, Bill, okay, so, I mean, hopefully it all gets ironed out.
It will, I'm sure it will.
okay, so I could speak to the town manager, the mayor, the town council, see where's this going and when.
Sure, you're a resident taxpayer, you can do whatever you want, absolutely, absolutely. Anything else?
So when's that ordinance meeting?
Tuesday,
In afternoon, night?
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock,
6 o'clock.
I think it's 6 or 7, I'll find out.
Are you speaking about just a normal town council meeting?
Ordinance, no, this is an ordinance meeting, this is just about town ordinance.
So I thought Tuesday was just a regular town council meeting.
I heard it was a ordinance meeting, so. Well, it's what is it, it's the first, is it the first and third Tuesday of every month?
21st. The 7th was the first one this month, and it was
Somebody was this.
Hey, Joe, come on in.
Joe,
Is it too late to get something out of you, Jim?
Right,
I
so
lost that.
Let's get a cheer.
6:11, Joe Pulcini joins the meeting live and in person.
Make sure that, is it too late to get something on that ordinance, Jim?
Yes, I believe it is.
Good to see you. Good to see you too, man.
I'm pretty sure you said it was an ordinance meeting. Now you're,
I voted against you, Coach.
now you're second, you know, I'm second guessing myself.
Because we had our normal pre-agenda meeting on
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday.
Chuck, were you walking the other day? Was that you yelling at me? I hope it wasn't because of my driving.
You almost hit me.
I got, oh, you know what, it could be before the town council
Could be
meeting.
before it.
So it could be at 6 o'clock before the town council
Because
meeting.
town council's
So
at
that
7.
could be. We'll find out for sure, and I'll send out an email, or someone will send an email if you're interested. Okay?
and one more thing.
Sure, Bill.
What is happening about the clock?
That's
Everything?
coming up,
We'll find out.
that's coming up.
Yeah, it's in here.
Okay,
Yeah. Actually,
It's not in there, we can
it's
do
not
open
an agenda, we
discussion.
can put it under open discussion, or under old business, we can put that under old business. Matter of fact, I make a motion that we add status of clock to old business.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion? Opposed? Okay, so we're gonna add, that'll be item number 2 under old business, okay, clock status. Okay. Anything else, Bill?
no,
Okay, thank you so much. With that, I'll close audience, citizens, I don't see anybody online, so. Okay, approval of minutes, you all got the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes?
Second.
Second, Joe second. All in favor? Discussion? Opposed? Hearing none? Okay. All right, old business, finalize the tea time policy, did you all see the tea time policy, the latest one that's all sent out with the agenda? Okay, discussion?
No, I didn't.
It was attached to, it's in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, basically,
Okay.
for those, just for the public here too. The recommendation is 5 days in advance for residents and non-residents, starting at 7 AM.
The non-residents, was that just for the season pass holders, or is that all non-residents?
All non-residents, and no matter who you are, okay? So it's 5 days in advance, anyone. 7 AM for online. So at 7 o'clock, you can go online, book a tea time. 9 o'clock, phone or in person.
You're talking about Stanley, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, that's Stanley, I was gonna say, okay, no, I got it. 5 days in advance, anyone can book, yeah, there you go, thank you. Between March, April, and October, November, it's 8 AM by phone and online, okay? And then from May through September, it's 7 AM for phone and online. In person, between March, April, and October and November, it's 7:45 for a walk-in and 6:45 from May through September for a walk-in. Multiple bookings are allowed. In-person bookings will not be made prior to policy time, no exceptions. 9-hole tee times are only gonna be available where 9-hole slots are available. And that is the recommended tea time policy moving forward. So, Saul, I have a question. If we have 30 people in line in person at quarter to 7, do they, I mean, and so they could theoretically book every single tea time, right? Because they're in person? Or are there allotted slots just for walk-ins?
You can book any tea time you like, in person.
Okay.
The only thing, we haven't figured out is how many can you book in person?
Okay.
Cause I think in the past, we've done 4 or
Up to 4, yeah.
4
I
groups.
thought we were getting rid of that though.
Well, that's why we're
Okay.
finalizing it now.
Alright,
That's the only thing that's not mentioned in this,
Right, well, multiple
Stop.
bookings are allowed, we just don't have a number
right,
here. Which is, I will say this, there are groups that book 3 times, 2 times, 4 times. But every one of those times is always filled. And by Wednesday, if they know they can't fill the time, they always give that time back and it immediately gets snapped up, so. We never have an empty tea time, ever, on the weekends, ever. Unless it's, a holiday or something like that, but.
we're not worried about if someone takes 4 tea times, we're not worried about the 16 of them not coming, cause if they don't come, they're gonna lose the privilege.
Exactly.
So, it's a 1 strike policy.
oh, is that what it is, one and done? I
Should
don't know,
be.
I'm just asking,
That'd be
okay.
right.
We're willing to work with the town or our players,
Right.
our patrons on that, like how many can you book? Cause I do understand that, like you said, some do by 2 groups, by 3 groups, by 4 groups. I'm not trying to change this thing too much to where it's uncomfortable for everyone.
Right,
So,
no, we get it.
but if it does happen where you book 4 tea times and, 1 or 2 players do not show up, there's a rule for that too, so.
So you end up having a threesome versus a foursome.
Yeah, the worst case scenario is you book 4 tea times and you bring 3 tea times, right?
Or you-
That would be real bad.
You book 4,
If it was just, if you booked 16 players and you brought 15, maybe that's a slap on the wrist, but we will talk to those people and make sure it doesn't happen again.
but what about the same people get at the same time every week, and is that really fair? I mean, these are discussions these are hard
Yeah.
discussions, I'm not lying to you, they're hard discussions, but they are,
But if they follow the rules, Jim,
If you're coming
But-
at that time in person
Yeah.
and you're always first online and you're requesting the same tea times and the same amount of players every week,
they went through the process.
we can't really say anything,
I'm one of the guys, I'm up there early. I get up at 5 o'clock, so I'm up there at 5:30, sitting in the car waiting for you guys to
The
get
only
there.
thing that I'm not comfortable with is customers walking in with our staff when we open those doors. Right, I know in years past, you can book a tea time in person once we open those doors.
Shit at the time.
Right, well, that's why we did 7:45 or 6:45. Cause by then, our staff will be in the shop,
Registers
You've
on,
opened
it.
up, you've already opened up at that point,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
That's fair,
That makes sense.
yeah, that's fair. What about making a tea time, or even a foursome and only having 2 players, 3 players?
like you made a foursome, but you only brought 2?
Right.
Well, that falls under the same,
Okay.
um,
So if you're making a foursome, can you book a twosome, walk-in?
like in person,
Okay,
Online
Because
too.
online too,
Anywhere,
cause you can book the other 2,
yeah, so you,
Build
just
those
because you walked in, doesn't mean that you have to get a foursome, you could,
No, like a
You
few
can be a
times.
single if you like.
Okay.
I think the walk-in process is more for the multi-group ones.
yeah,
Cause you can't, online you can only book a group up to 4 players.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So do you, okay.
Obviously, a phone call, you can request to book more than 4.
So booking online, you can only book one tea time at a time.
No, one foursome.
Yeah, I mean, that one
Foursome.
foursome,
You do one foursome at a time.
one foursome
Online.
at a time online.
Yeah.
So what's the criteria of someone coming to you and saying, okay, I got 4 guys, 5 guys, book me in advance of 5 days? Is that out of the picture?
It says here, the,
You know, it comes in and says, I got a little mini tournament going on,
Yeah.
okay? I got a little mini tournament going on, and,
if you're calling it a tournament or an outing, you gotta book that month,
okay.
you know?
I'm just saying, that individual or, you know, couldn't come in or couldn't, you know, and say, I got, or, I'm saying come in before the 5 days, like 6 days before, 7 days, saying, hey, I wanna have a little tournament that Saturday or whatever,
That falls under the policies of our outings,
okay?
you know, which we do have, policies for, like, you know, if you have a certain amount of players, you can only go at a certain time of day.
Yeah.
Or if you have 140 people, we'll give you the golf course.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're asking me if you can do it before the 5 days for a normal tee time, I hope our staff is not going to do that, because there's no point of us talking about this.
Who's taking tea times? The town staff or Mark's staff?
Both desks.
Both desks.
So to go back to your first question.
Mark?
How we all doing?
Hey, Mr. Mayor.
You having a fun time? It's all fun, it's all good, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Maybe it's not, it's okay. Good.
Isn't that a seat? Come on in.
That's all right, I got enough of me.
Good.
God bless you.
Good answer.
Yeah.
So,
I'll skip this one, sorry, next time, next time.
yeah,
Carry on.
I heard that one
Alright,
too.
Thank you. See you guys.
They may need you next time. Alright,
I think your first question was, what if there were 15 people trying to do in-person, well, we have 2 desks. So we, hopefully in 15 minutes, we can get through 15 people.
But this is all online, right? This is not a T sheet with writing that stuff in, is it?
It's all on computer,
Okay.
and it's very fast. If, like.
So it's actual time, whether you're
Yeah,
on.
We're talking real time, right?
Real
Both sides are
Both
lined
sides.
up, okay, okay.
Like Seb, if you call to one desk and you say, all right, I need 3 tee times, you actually don't have to give us 12 names that time. We can just book it on
Yeah,
you, and then you can update us, which would take less than a minute. You know, so we're going through our training now, that's how fast it's going. So once one desk makes a tee time, in that same time frame, the other desk will be,
It's blocking it
it's
off.
blocked, it's all reserved,
And you're gonna have a computer on your desk, and you're gonna have access to the T sheet at all times.
both desks.
I'm talking about your private desk.
My office?
Yeah, your office.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be able to see both.
You'll be able to see if there's a time that was put in for next week.
Early?
Yeah, early.
Well, it's gonna be blocked, the
You
teacher
can't
won't
do
be
it, right?
available.
Yeah.
Our staff, you
You
know,
can override that,
myself and Mark,
exactly.
so, you know.
but they should have the purpose of overriding it if they think that something's going on. You guys should have the right to do that. It's only, yeah,
No, I
they're in charge.
think Repeater goes the other way, override to put something in early, that's where he's, I think,
Right,
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
if I go in like Sunday morning or Sunday night and I already see tee times for next weekend, well, someone messed up, right? Because it's Monday to Saturday.
There's only 2 people that can do that, you and Mark, right?
Correct.
So,
I mean, obviously, if a staff member gets to know a password of mine or Mark's, you know, that's one way to.
Right.
That's a loophole, but I know my staff will not do it.
but you also have the ability, if you see something like that, you have the ability to wipe that out, correct?
Yes.
Well, then it's a moot
Yeah.
point.
That's an eye opener.
But that'll only happen once, let's just say that much, I guarantee that will only happen once, and then,
I mean, everyone will be under new eyes, so.
Listen, mistakes happen.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, you
sure.
know,
well, that's a programming mistake,
Yeah.
but the other one is just.
But if I heard
so-
it right, the system does not allow you to
doesn't-
go
you-
out
you
more
would
than
like-
5 days.
Because
Right.
every employee has a login.
Okay.
And they can only do so much, cause we program it for them to do only so much.
And each one is going to have their own identity, no more of this.
There's no sharing of passwords, no
No sharing
sharing IDs, well, that's what it should have been all along.
I mean, like, even when it says
That's just
here,
basic computer stuff.
7:45, right, in person, if it's 7:44 and there's a tea time already.
Yeah.
That's too early. You know,
Yeah,
that's.
and it's all based off of the time on the computer, the clock on the
Yeah.
computer, yeah, okay.
So it's really a major change is anyone.
Anyone, that's the change,
That's the major
change.
change, and that's some of the complaints I heard in town.
Yeah, but you know what?
I'm just airing.
I heard the same thing.
Just airing this
I heard the
out.
same thing, however, that was, but if you were able to make multiple tea times and you do have a walk-in, that kinda negates the whole anyone thing too, you know, it kinda makes it fair for everybody, in my opinion. Personally, I don't have a problem with everybody 5 days advance, every other golf course is doing it, look at every other
Yeah.
golf course.
I thought last time we discussed this, there was a little bit of a dialogue that said, you know,
Yeah, they're
I thought so too.
taking truth.
But
Be a
that's why
little
we're doing this
sensitive
now,
to-
yeah.
you know,
Well, we are now,
Well, you know what?
aren't we? By letting them come in person?
Can I, go ahead, finish your conversation. Go
no,
ahead.
so, you know, like, in the back of my mind, this seems like a fair and equitable way of doing things, right? But I just always kind of feel like we're on, you know, thin ice with the town administration. We antagonize enough town residents where they feel like they're being treated differently than they have been in the past. Is there a concern about level of support from the town? Should things come to a head on certain issues?
It's always been the case. And especially this year, it's gonna be worse because it's an election year. So they're gonna have their ears wide open.
Boy, you're so right.
Jim Norton would say, let's call it what it is.
I mean, I
Go ahead.
just put it out there
I'm
because
gonna
it's,
put something else out there too, so.
you know,
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Yeah, but there's new people here running it. They shouldn't be totally surprised
Solved
by
it.
the changes.
no, what I'm saying, so basically we treat non-residents and residents the same.
Shoot,
I don't think so. Did you see how we did the rates?
I know that's all we do,
Yeah.
but I hear you on the rates, but how often is it that somebody either in town or out of town come in? I mean, we pretty much have this golf course booked all year,
Yes.
right? So the rates could be what they are, but there are going to be people, and there are people that already complain that they can't get a tee time. And they're residents, and they're paying taxes.
well,
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you got enough people upset, they're gonna say, you know what, I can't use it, the heck with it.
Are you saying with the previous rules, no one was complaining?
No, I've had people complain about it. I've been on this a couple of years.
There's that.
Yeah,
I think it's
people
gonna be
are
There's that. Like,
but I look at it this way, Joe, I mean, you have to get, if you want a tea time, you gotta do like everybody else, get up out of your bed, call them and make that tea time. Now, you don't get a tea time, that's on you, because you know what time the tea times are gonna start, okay? And like I said, anybody that pays up there, like we're residents in town, we get a break. Somebody comes out, that's not in town, they're gonna pay that full price. So they should have the right, just like we do, I mean, cause we're getting a break, they're not getting a break, but they're paying top dollar.
Right.
And
But
if
you're
you
not paying taxes, Jimmy.
Wait a minute, no,
You're not paying
that's
taxes.
no, let me say this, and at the end of the day, you got more guys up there playing that are not, that don't even live in town, are paying more money than the guys that are do live in town.
So what I'm gonna say, Jimmy, is I don't disagree, cause I mean, I got a lot of friends out of town,
Right,
Jimmy knows what I'm talking
Right,
about,
and
a lot of his crew, they play here and they love it,
right,
right? My only point is, you gotta be a little sensitive, because we depend on the citizens in town to say,
support this.
we wanna keep this.
Okay, so this is gonna be, alright, so we, what Joe's saying is true, it's gonna be exacerbated this year by this, it really, so, the question is how much, and we don't, this is all unknowns, right?
Yeah.
So this is where we're going with this, right? So, we're trying to figure out some sort of compromise here, right? And really, that's what we're trying to do. So how do we do that? So maybe we say, alright, you know, I'll open up a certain number of tea times, right? For residents, just for residents. And I'm just, listen, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just throwing, what are our, we can write this up on a whiteboard. What are our options? That's an option. Listen, I'll put aside a certain number for residents. Not everybody can play, get up every morning or get up there and get in there early because they have to go to work. I mean, we're gonna hit a recession soon. I mean, it's coming. Don't kid yourself. So what's gonna happen then? Too, and I know you're worried about the finances and the money, and I get it, believe me, I do. I understand that completely where you're coming from. It's all about it's not all about the revenues, but it does come into play. But at the same token, maybe we should say, all right, put a certain number of tee times aside. Because if I'm the guy who's working, I mean, a lot of times I won't even play on the weekends unless it's a tournament or somebody calls me at the last minute, I got an opening. Because it's like, listen, you know what, I play during the week, I don't need to play every weekend, even though I have an unlimited pass. I still, listen, what's it cost me, a couple $100? Who cares? In the big scheme of things, it's peanuts. Let's just call it what it is, But that, some poor schmuck that's working 20.
Loaded.
Yeah, I'm loaded, okay. Really.
The truth.
But you know what, I mean, the fact of the matter is, the guy that's working 40 hours a week and the girl that's working 40 hours a week, even more, has a chance to play in the weekend when they're in the week, don't. And that's how I look at it, and I do, so it's.
But Jim, that's going back to what I said, I mean, you gotta get up early in the morning and make that tea time. Like,
So, not everybody can, Jimmy, not everybody can do that.
No, and I agree with you
How
100%.
how does that change? How does that change if you allot certain tee times? Knowing that the course gets booked like that,
Right.
by allotting certain tee times, or a certain number of tee times for residents, how is that gonna change?
You're still gonna
They're
have.
still gonna have to get up early.
But you're still gonna have it, but I think where I come from.
Just guarantees it.
You listen,
What
as a
doesn't
resident,
guarantee
as a resident, you still have a little, you still have a little bit of a bonus or a priority or a little perk. That's it. I'm not saying it's all tea time stuff, I'm just, maybe a couple, certain, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. We're kind of spitballing this thing, right? But it's just another idea, I mean,
But Tim, once you have a lot of number.
then it's done, man.
But you have a lot of number, and they get filled, and then you just wait for the.
You're right, that's it, yeah.
But I mean, you're still gonna have people that are in town that can't get tea times.
You will, but you know what, it won't be as exasperated as it would now when everybody's coming in, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
And I mean, I'm putting this on the table because I could just see, there will be, not a lot of people, but there will be some people that will take this as a bone to pick. And they're just gonna push it all the way.
Well, I think, let it go. They have to come out there and they wanna scream about it, they don't wanna put who in house, vote them out, it's what it is, because we have to move forward. We can't go back, we gotta keep moving forward, some people are gonna get pissed off behind it, but you know what, they will understand, down the road, they will understand. I mean, it's a change, we all gotta make a change now, it's all about a change.
So,
No, we don't. You know what, you're missing the point, I think, Jim. You know what, and we've been talking about this for a long time. I agree with Jim and if we take Saturdays and Sundays and say we take, just example, if there's 50 tea times, we take 25 of them, they go to residents for on the 5th day, 5 days before. If they're not filled up on the 4th day, they will be. I don't know what we're talking about. Of course they're gonna be, but on 5 days prior to that tea time, we have X amount of tea times only for residents. Everybody else can get what they want. On the 4th day, if they're available, then anybody gets them. I've been saying this, we've been saying this for years.
Okay, so let's put it this way, alright, so are they members of the golf course, or are they just gonna come up and say, okay, I'm gonna go play golf?
No,
Answer me. Are they members of the golf course, or are they just gonna say, I'm coming to play golf
No,
today?
there is residents and
Right.
there's non-residents.
Right.
There is no players or senior pass holders or it's residents and non-residents.
Okay,
That's not what they are.
so you're gonna
Doesn't
take,
matter.
when we're talking about the weekends, right, so we're gonna take a resident that lives in town, and what are we gonna charge him, if he doesn't have a pass for the year, we're gonna charge him top dollar?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to pay
The
top
resident
dollar.
rate,
Resident rates.
the resident rate, I'm
Well,
with you.
then that's not fair to the golf course, when Joe over here is gonna pay top dollar for the golf course.
Hold on. Okay, so if this is what it's all about,
Right.
it's all about the revenue.
It's not
That-
the
That's what it's gonna be?
No, we're not, but that's not why we're here. Listen, our charter is to cover our costs, period. We're not supposed to be a moneymaker, this is not a cash cow, for the town, it's not. As long as we cover our costs, that was the whole intent of this whole thing.
Okay.
That, you good now? Seriously, that's fine. But our charter, right, all ordinance thing was to cover our costs, not to make money.
Oh, man.
Seriously, and so it really doesn't matter. If you're saying that's gonna change now and it's all about the revenue, well, then guess what? Get away with all season pass holders, listen, the hell, just call one of
Like,
these.
like Hunter did, they got rid of this.
No, they have them, but there's no difference.
No, they said
between-
no more season,
No?
no, they took it out,
No.
they took it out. Probably because
But
of
then,
what's going on.
you know what, if you wanna
We're
go,
doing that now.
Jimmy, if you wanna go down that road, and I'm not saying because I disagree with it, then there's no difference between a resident and non-resident, boom, everybody pays the same amount. But
Exactly,
that's not what we're there for,
No.
listen, the taxpayers have, been through this thick and thin. I pay for the library, it's a divinity, and the town has I don't use the library anymore, I use it here and there. The fields, my kids don't play sports anymore, but I'm still paying for the fields. They're not in the school, but I'm still paying for the school. It's all a town amenity, right? I mean, we beat this is a dead horse. So it doesn't matter whether it's a resident coming in or a non-resident, Jimmy.
oh,
That's just my view.
listen, I understand what you're saying, but I just look at it this way, things are changing. So
Yeah.
you have to make a change somewhere.
I agree.
That's all there's to it. So if it doesn't work, then you can go back to square one. But in the meantime, lay it out there, see how it goes, and if you see what's not working, back off of it.
Yeah,
Like anything else.
it's too late.
Why is this changed? Why is this changed needed?
Well,
Because-
for
think-
one, when in my first couple weeks here, when I asked Mark on what new policies he would like to change, what do you think he said first? Right here, this is the one. So it's not coming from me.
No, it's not
It's not
personal
about
fault.
revenue, it's not about revenue, it's about what Mark thinks is best for our cause, right? Every decision we've made, we've put residents front and center. So don't tell me we're not thinking about your residents. If we weren't thinking about your residents, I would get it my way, which is no in person, no multiple tea times. If you want it that way, I'll put my foot down and we'll do it. But I'm working with you guys. I'm working with Mark to a point to where he wrote this up, and this is his suggestion.
So, here's
Well, here's
my
a starting
response
point,
to that.
that's
Hang on a
a
second.
good.
So here's my response. We're not saying that you're not thinking about the residents. I'm just pointing out, this golf course, for a variety of reasons, right or wrong, is a volatile issue at times.
Yeah.
And if we're not sensitive to that, people will make decisions, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not, based on a bunch of citizens complaining. And it doesn't even
What are
have
they
to.
gonna do?
Burn the building down?
They gonna go to Stanley?
No.
Or they gonna go to?
No,
They're gonna go to the town council, and the town council
Don't
here,
you think
And,
that
you
there's
know,
always gonna be a group
and the town
that
council will
looks for
react,
them?
because they're reacting, you don't
The
proact.
squeaky wheel disagrees, so.
Yeah, but I don't think we're changing it so much that
No,
the town council's gonna go crazy.
no.
But I just think,
I don't
what
know
Joe's,
what
I'm sorry, you finish.
no, you go ahead.
I think what Joe's trying to say, and I kind of agree with him in one respect this respect that, the fact that you take that away, and I know we have to change, right? But maybe we could ease into that.
Mhm.
You know what? For this year, or this, you kind of ease into that thing. Listen, whether it's multiple tea times you limit how many you can have, right? That's it. So I'll give you 3, whatever, or 2. Because a lot of courses don't do that. They just don't. You know that they don't, and I know they don't, right? But you say you put aside a certain number of tea times for residents. That's all. No, it doesn't have to be whatever numbers. Who gives-
Pick a
number.
They can be
Alright,
10
at
for all I
what
know.
time,
I don't know.
what time frames?
It doesn't really matter.
You keep saying, yeah, but tell me the times.
First come.
First come, first.
No, what
Oh,
am I
what?
blocking off for residents?
No, just give them 10,
First-
10, who cares what it is?
10 tea times at what time?
It doesn't matter, throughout the day, it doesn't freaking matter what time it is.
Then, but am I
You gotta
already
have a
doing
time.
that?
But you're
You
gonna
gotta have
know, you're gonna
You-
know
like you
if
said,
you're putting
you
them
gotta
in
have a
whether you're
time.
residents or not.
You gotta have
If
a
all of
time.
a sudden
don't.
you don't have enough residents.
Yeah.
You don't have time, cause I said, listen, I can't make it until 10 o'clock, so I'll make it at 10 o'clock.
Do you really
Versus an
think
8 o'clock
that
time.
a non-resident's gonna come for in-person tea times? Do you want me to say in-person tea times are for residents only?
No,
No.
no,
Okay,
no,
so-
no.
What are we
What I'm
trying-
saying is like, the 5 days ahead of time,
Yeah,
right? It's 5 a certain number of tea times would be 5 days ahead of time, and the rest, once those are filled, it doesn't really matter, right? Then everything, then it's a free-for-all, there's no more resident, non-resident, it doesn't matter, I'm just putting aside a certain number of tea times for.
Didn't we do something where it was like, the residents got to make a tea time an hour before or something like that instead of a day? Can we compromise where like
How you gonna deal with that, though?
non-residents can book, you
What,
know.
in person?
No, well, in person, if they're there in person, they're there in person, they're there. I'm just saying, you know, instead of 7 o'clock online for, I don't know how you track a resident or non-resident, but
You have to program it in.
you know, you do something like, maybe you give the residents an hour head start. And then, you know, still 5 days, but maybe it's an hour for residents versus, you know, like 7 to 8 is resident time.
You still be in the same boat, most likely.
You're right, you're still in the same boat, nothing's gonna change. Like I said before, just let it ride like this, then we'll see if we're gonna get the kickback. Then we'll see if we get the.
You know, I would like to say though, and this is nothing against Mark or anything like that, please don't take it like that, but Mark is a subcontractor of the town, right? And I know that he knows, he suggests
also a
what's best
resident.
for the town, but he is a resident. But, you know, this is a collaborative effort, and personally, I'm okay with the suggestions that he makes. Mark has always put the Timberland first. But, you know, we have to base this off of everybody's decision, not just one. I'm okay with it, these guys aren't, you're okay with it, I don't know, you know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
You know, you said, you know, let's ease in with any change. You know, this is the time, if you're gonna make a change, to do it. Because we have new management.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna make a change, that's when you do it. You know, you don't do it a little bit this year, then next, they're gonna still complain.
Right.
They're gonna think, well, you didn't do it last year, why are you, and it's not gonna make any difference. This is the time to make the changes because everything's gonna be slightly different.
So other than Mark proposing this, why would we make this change?
Why are we making the change?
Yeah, other than Mark proposing it.
The only what's the change from 5 days to
5
14?
days
Five
for
days.
everybody, everyone, that's the change, everyone.
Right.
So other than Mark proposing it, why make the change?
Because
If
it
Mark didn't-
benefits our T-sheet, it benefits, you know.
How does it benefit the T-sheet?
But who else would know better than Mark? If
No,
it's
no,
We have a legitimate question, follow
So-
that.
How does it benefit the T-sheet? This golf course is pretty much booked from the day it opens to the day it closes, unless it's raining or snow. Or it's muddy, the weather conditions are what they are.
But Joe, you gotta remember, how is it booked? It's booked by our pro, because the pro is bringing the people in, he's bringing the tournaments in, the leagues are coming in. They're not just walking up there, the pros, a lot of pros bring the people to you.
So what's that got to do with 5 days for everybody, or 5 days for out of town and 4 days in?
Because it's like, he made that suggestion because he thought that's the best way to do it. So why do you have a boss? Your boss makes a decision. No, you think about it, if you have a boss, he makes a decision how you run a job.
Jim,
So, and I'm not saying Mark is your boss, I'm not saying he's your boss,
Jim,
but I'm saying
what
he's
they're
the head
saying is, what Joe is conveying is, the T sheet is always full, right? The course is not losing money,
Yes, that's
okay? So why stir the pot? The only reason to open this up for everyone would be to make more money.
Yep.
If you're not losing money, then status quo should be okay. If Mark and Saul and Jerry with, you know, with the cost of things and everything else are going to be way out of line,
Different
Then-
discussion.
yes. But based on the budget that we have today, we should still make out okay, regardless of whether we open it up for everyone on 5 days or 4 days.
So my last comment is gonna be this, and stop. And so, you know, you brought up, what's our charter? Our charter is to make sure that the golf course is managed in such a way that at a minimum we break even.
Correct.
I would also propose to everybody on the commission that our charter is to represent the citizens.
Yes.
So that's part of it as well. So, you know, we got this, but we do have this unique thing that says, don't lose
It
money.
was the ordinance, not the charter, it was the ordinance that said that.
Right.
I'm sorry, I said correctly.
So, you know, I'm okay with doing this, I just wanna know why we're doing it.
Let me ask you a question. If we were in a position where the money that the course makes for profit stays with the course, would your decisions be different?
If we treated this course, and I'm gonna paint this scenario, as though it was like a private or semi-private course, and this was the board of directors managing a business that was a for-profit, a lot of these decisions would be different.
Much.
Why? Because we wanna make money. We'd like to go from 18 holes to 36 holes,
So,
but
so if in the back of these minds, that we all know that the town manager is going to push for, not an enterprise fund, cause that would be disastrous,
You don't.
but a special revenue, fund would make it in such a case that any money that the course makes stays with the course.
I wouldn't be in favor of that.
You wouldn't be in favor of that?
Nope, not at all.
Cause we was gonna die.
No, but the
We
problem
could.
is,
No,
it's
We could've.
the good
We
with the
couldn't make it.
bad.
We couldn't make it.
You gotta
It's the
take
good with the bad.
How many-
That means if you have one good year and you have 2 bad years,
Right.
you better come up with that money.
I know, and like I said, this year, for the last 2 years, we've been making money. This year, I think it's going down, big time. I think it's gonna go down. I think a lot of people are gonna be playing golf.
Why?
I just got that funny feeling because of the way the economy is going.
economy is going.
And the way the economy is going, things are changing.
Things are changing, right?
It's changing, I'm telling you, we're gonna lose money this year.
So Peter,
You're not gonna lose money,
we're not
but-
losing money.
Well, we're gonna lose.
What's that?
You asked the question, right? And you know, my response to that would be, if that's how the golf course was run, I think all of us would be looking at these decisions.
Much different.
Yeah.
But you'd be looking at a lot more decisions too, on that,
Right.
you look,
Oh,
listen, you get in the nuts and bolts there, if this was a true board of directors, we'd be looking at the nuts and bolts of how this thing is
yeah.
run.
Yeah, we wouldn't be
I mean,
meeting
we
once a
wouldn't,
month.
it would be different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would be, let's just call it what it is, so.
But, I mean, I don't know how I would vote on this, but to me, it's, the proposal is out there, right? Why change? Why are we making the change? As Peter pointed out, if all of a sudden we looked at our budget and it was like, we're losing a boatload of cash and this is the only way we could break even, I'm in favor of it. But if our budget is true to what we think it is, and listen, I think the world of him, I think he's a great guy, I was a huge advocate of him coming back as our golf pro. But I'm also sensitive to people in town and what they're looking at. Are they always gonna complain? Yep. Why? Because that's just human nature. Except for me, I don't complain.
More in some than others.
I don't complain.
No, me either.
So back to square one, what do you think? Should we go for the ride and see how they're gonna react?
So if this comes to a vote, I would vote no.
But it has to come to a vote, this is just his proposal.
Right.
I'm just saying, so Jimmy's asking me, how would you vote in favor or against it? And I would vote against it.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm one vote.
Well, then put it to a vote. I'd put it to a vote. Well, we'll find out in a minute, right? What the heck, man? Right? Put it to a vote, if this is what we think is gonna, you know, if this is what you want, and this is your proposal, then just put this to a vote. And we'll just do it right now, you know? I make a motion to put this to a vote at this point in time, the way it is.
I second it.
All right, those in favor?
Oh, discussion.
We've already had this
Oh,
discussion.
good, more discussion.
Has anybody got anything else to discuss on this thing?
So your motion is the way it is right now?
Yeah, the way it is, right? I mean, this is.
As proposed.
As proposed,
As for the 5 days, okay.
yes.
All right, we have a motion on the table. to accept or deny the proposal of 5 days in advance available to anyone by phone or online, either 8 AM or 7 AM. And in person, 15 minutes prior.
Just so you know,
7:45 AM
this
to
is
4:30.
not voted on, and if we're doing 5 days for residents, 4 days for non-residents, I'm gonna bring up another proposal.
That's fair, I mean, Sal,
Let's hear it right now.
Say what's on your mind.
Let's hear it right
So-
now.
So wait,
My
hold on a
proposal,
second, so,
right, if you're
hang
telling
on,
me.
hang on.
Go ahead.
So I think we gotta vote on this one first.
Well, we could have a discussion, we're still.
So here's part of your discussion. All right, go ahead.
Part of the discussion.
You know,
If
We can't
we're
really
not gonna
vote.
do the same timeline for everyone,
Yeah.
then there's no multiple bookings for anyone.
How was it done in 2022?
Multiple
You can do
votes.
multiple bookings.
Was there a limit on the multiple, was there a limit? There was a limit, right? 3? 4?
So then again, why change?
Of everything.
Well,
You know,
but-
I mean, he's compromised, he has to compromise on
I don't know what
one
else to
thing.
like,
Alright, so
You
as
know
a,
what I'm saying?
but as a member of the commission, we're making changes. My question is why? What was bad with
Because
2022?
in my view, if we make the same revenue as 2022, 2021, well, that's not enough for 23.
But we raised our rates, so we're obviously gonna make more.
Yeah,
Unless,
but
unless
if you're
if play goes
telling
down,
me,
you're telling me if play goes
you're
down.
telling me that residents and season passes are gonna fill up the weekend tea times, it really doesn't matter if we change the rates.
But so to
We should've just kept the same
wait a minute though. Listen,
Yeah.
to the defense of why change, okay? We came up with a budget,
Wait, you're.
we have proposed rates.
Yeah.
They're based on the same amount of rounds. Residents, non-residents, out of town, right, weekdays, weekends. The whole budget was based on what we did last year, the year before. And we're still with that budget and with that, the revenue projection, we're still making money, right? Based on this, based on exactly what we do now. So the question, why change, is a legitimate one. Why change if we're on paper, with all things being equal and all things being status quo, we're gonna make money, why rock the boat? That's the question. And on paper, the defense to that is, we're gonna make money.
Well, if you didn't change the rates, we wouldn't have made.
No, I'm talking about, we did raise the rates. And based on,
To a point.
based on the proposed rates that we gave town council that they approved, we are going to show a profit if everything is the same as it was last year, the year before, how we projected, right? So if that's the case, why are we rocking the boat? Because we're still gonna make money, and even though we don't have to make money, we only have to break even. So that's the question that I'm understanding from the,
Peter,
yes, go ahead.
I'd like to hear from Bill to find out what would the reaction from the senior, because there's 110 guys and a lot of them residents, so.
None of them will play
They don't
weekends.
play weekends.
You know,
But I just wanna hear what,
We have 5 people that are on, from the men's club on this group. And a vote would definitely be off kilter.
I'm an
Anyway.
amateur golfer,
Anyway,
very amateur.
Well,
no,
No, and Nancy, that's exactly why they want to, they're looking at making only certain commissioners for certain groups instead of that, you're right.
I know.
I wanna hear from Bill.
personally speaking, as a taxpayer, I have used the fact that I can get in 5 days, book a tea time 5 days in advance. Because in fact, out of towners that I play with on the senior men's group ask me, or other Berlin, residents to book tea times because they can't get in till 4 days ahead of time. But,
That's interesting.
You know,
I didn't even think of that.
See,
and
It
looking,
happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all, right, my guys are from out of town.
Yeah,
looking
but you
at
know
this,
what? A
to
resident has to
me,
put in the tea
right,
time.
He's still talking, yeah.
Yeah.
to me, this reminds me of when I worked for a major corporation. And they always came out, and when they wanted to take something away, they would always say, well, we're going by business best practices. Okay, the catch-all term to say,
We've all been there before.
up yours, so. So, you know, going by what other golf courses do, I don't know, these are all they all municipal golf courses?
Yes, they have to be.
Yeah,
They would get
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
the
so
way
after-
we're comparison.
Can't do it anything with
So
guys.
yeah,
He-
to me, I
he
find it a
said it's local.
convenience of 5 days, but, you know, I could go with the, everybody 5 days. As far as, I can't speak for the whole group of the senior men's league, but most are seniors, most are residents, or they're all seniors, most are residents, they would opt for keeping the 5 days for residents.
You know, I think that, one thing that has to, you know, we also have to take into consideration here is, even though residents book multiple tee times, in those groups are many non-resident golfers, okay? Many.
Mhm.
I could mention, you know, there's a Saturday group that, geez, I think 60% of them or more are non-residents. There's the NB group, I'm not mentioning any names, but they have 3 or 4 times, and a lot of those guys are non-residents, so, you know, I mean, non-residents are, and that's how we are making the money. You know, it's not just because we have residents booking the time, and there are times that there are non-residents that ask a resident to make time for it. Just the way it is, it happens, it's happened, and it will continue to happen, no matter what.
It sounds like in some cases, everyone's doing it 5 days anyway.
It's some, for the most, well, it's some, let's just say some.
Some, or
But some
little,
not.
or a lot, it's still happening.
Have you people had a hard time getting tea times on the weekend?
Yes.
What time do you play?
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, and then
No,
these guys
because
get,
No, it's,
I have,
I've had trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Like my
If I
kids,
don't go up there, I can't get in.
sometimes when my kids come up, I mean,
What time do you play in the
and it doesn't happen that often, really.
8 o'clock,
You
so.
know, I'll have to get there or call, you know, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't.
the problem is,
But that doesn't happen that often.
Peter, can I just say, that? Like he said, he have a problem, cause he likes to play at 8 o'clock, right?
If I can get it,
No,
if I don't,
8 o'clock,
9 o'clock,
and then-
9:30.
Basically, who's playing at 8 o'clock? The A players. They're mostly got that, they want that early slot.
that's not true.
I'm not.
No, the majority
Not
of them,
true.
but the majority of them want that.
No, they want later.
The A
They
players,
want later so they can stand at the club and drink after, that, they don't want early, trust me.
well, it's just, okay, so they're between 9 and 10. 9 o'clock, they ain't going out at 10 o'clock. They're gonna go out about between 9 and 8, the A players are gonna go out there and play. But for what I seen when I was there,
All the groups, there are
Because I'm
a
a
couple
night-
of groups who wanna play early,
right,
but the majority of those A players that you're saying,
right.
they want the last tee times of the block most of the time.
But like I said, I'm between 9 and 10, and they're out there before I am. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy,
And you know, and the reason
I'm
they're
not an
out
A
there
player.
before it,
I'm not an
maybe
A
that's all
player.
that was available when they went in.
I'm not an A player, but I play with a bunch, and we sit down and watch Jim Green hit balls in front of us often.
Well, once in a while, like I said, but not all the time. The
So-
majority of the guys, that block is in between 8 and 9.
So I'm a D player.
But what's your point anyway? What is the?
No, the point of it is, but he's saying he wanted to go at 8 o'clock,
If I
right?
can get it, if
And
I
you
can't
can
get
get
it, I go 9 or 10, whatever's open.
There you go.
Listen,
But you know, it doesn't have to be 8 o'clock every week.
I think a bigger problem is our phone system. Because if we were able to call up and press 1 for a tea time, press 2 for this or whatever, and then if you press 1 for a tea time, you're put into a queue,
Right,
okay? But you don't, we can't do that for whatever reason, and we should look at if we could do that. Because that would, once you're in the queue.
right.
Now, it's busy, hang up, call again. I can show you 60, 70, 80 tries on my phone and I still don't get it sometimes.
That's
Really?
80 times I call.
Right,
Are
but
you
then,
really looking for one group?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
then you just go online.
Well, no, that's just
Right.
previously,
Just go
this is
online.
This is
previously.
previous, yeah, this is previous.
So, and what Peter just explained, that's why I go up there,
Yeah.
because I don't wanna do 100 phone calls.
You don't have to anymore, you can just do it online.
But that's,
But now you're competing
but
with
they're rolling the
everybody.
dice with that too.
No, you're not,
But-
you have the
but-
real time
And
data.
you know what, with online,
You can see it.
6 people can be booking at the exact same time.
But now I'm competing with resident and non-resident.
Right.
So to get back to your question, well, why change it? Because it's already happening. Now, if we change it to all 5, our staff doesn't have to figure out if everyone's a resident or non-resident.
Yeah.
And that's a good
It's
point.
already happening. It's
Non-residents don't have
And I hear
to
what you're
ask
saying,
residents to
I hear
call.
what you're saying,
There's a loophole already.
that's there, that people are exploiting.
Now, which leads me to a
So-
point, Saul, that, you know, a simple question, are you a resident or a non-resident,
Yeah.
should not fly. You should prove that you're a resident or a non-resident, at least until you're in the system,
Right.
okay? Because I can't tell you how many people go there and say they're a resident,
Yeah.
Right.
and I know for a fact they're not.
Our residents are supposed to be
Because
in
they're
the
not
system.
checked. So hopefully we could change
Our
this.
used to have to
residents,
have a
our
card.
residents are supposed to,
License.
They show,
yes.
yeah, when you
If
check,
you want
you have
resident
to show
rates,
that
you
card.
have to show your tip. Here,
Picture of your
Yeah.
picture card.
Well,
Yeah,
license,
like driver's license.
Until, once you're in the
Still have
system
our-
and, once you've in the system and you booked the tea time already,
Yeah.
there's, I'm sure there's a TIC resident or whatever. But we don't do any, we don't really check,
No, you know that.
you know, and that's gotta change too, because I'll bet you we're losing a lot of money there.
but that would be part of the change, because
Well,
now
wait a
you
minute.
have to check.
what do you
Now
mean that nobody's checking? And I'm just
How many
saying,
times have you been in the pro shop and, somebody's come up to pay for golf, are you a resident or non-resident?
I've heard that.
oh no, it's, you're
I'm a
right.
resident.
You're right.
Okay.
The Chinese guys do that. I know, and I'm not picking up, but they do. They're really, am I right? It's, no,
Right, that.
but my God, but you're right. I probably shouldn't have said that. But you know what? When I go in, I have to show my, if I want resident rates, I have to show my.
Your ID, right? You show your license.
Not the license, the
The
little.
tag,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
tag.
you know what, that's because you're in the system.
You're in the
and everything
system, you
else.
got the
Yeah.
tag.
How many times do people, all I'm saying is, we need to check.
But what, don't
to
we have
verify.
a rule? Don't we have a thing
We
in
have a
place?
lot of rules.
But don't we have it in place if you have that, if you don't have that, you don't pay, you have to pay non-resident rates?
Yeah, we had something like that. that started
That's how
last
it,
year,
that's
but
how it's,
not-
supposed-
not
you just have to enforce it.
Following through on it, yeah, you're
Jim.
right.
That's why we have a dog now, and we have policies, and things are going to
That's
be
true.
run.
Okay.
It
You know.
sounds like the staff wasn't doing their job.
I don't wanna say that they weren't, because it was hectic in there.
I
It's
said,
hectic
you don't
in
have to
there.
say it, I'm saying
It's
it,
just hectic in
But-
there.
alright?
But like he said, this is where they're coming with the change. Now, everything's gonna be changed, because like what happened in the past, this is a new day now. So if they were doing that, now we're gonna shut it down. Okay, we're shutting it down. We're gonna, anybody that walks in that golf course, if you don't have your pass, okay, and you wanna come and play golf, show me that you live in town. Give me your driver's license,
Sure.
and that's it. Everybody got a driver's license.
You're
And if you don't have a driver's license, then you can't play.
There's
Go
not
home and
resident,
get
no,
your
it's not resident. It's
You just make
non-resident.
non-resident, that's all.
Yeah,
Just say non-resident.
That's right.
It's just-
But follow through on that.
If you can't prove it, you pay
Okay,
non-resident.
so, let's circle back to this now,
Let's go back to.
alright?
So what I would say is this, I mean, one of the advantages, at least from my perspective, of having you come on board, there's going to be a little more discipline instilled in how things are supposed to be run. Not taking anything away from what anybody did in the past. There were a lot of comments made, and yeah, people were trying, but it was, as Peter said, chaotic.
It was busy.
Yeah, And so why was it busy? Because a lot of people wanted to play here, which is a good thing. It's just looking forward to that little more discipline and structure.
Discipline, structure,
And it's gonna benefit everybody.
for sure. You know, yeah, I mean, one guy to do all that stuff was a big ask.
Yeah.
Okay, and
But in normal golf course totem poles, a head pro does all that. Right, so, yes, he needs help with that stuff, that's why I'm here now, but the excuse of that to say it was okay or it wasn't a mistake of the staff is not right. The staff didn't do their job in years past, now they will.
fair enough, that's it. Let's move
For
on.
whatever reason, you're right.
Yeah,
Ellington Ridge, we had a head pro and myself.
Did you have the same amount of play as we have here?
I mean, the amount of play, no, but the operations of things is the same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but the amount of, you know,
And how you handle, your customers and members and your policies and rules, you just have to stick by it. There's no going left and right.
hey, listen,
no one's doubting that, really, and I think it's very good that we're actually gonna start enforcing some of this stuff, and it's a long time coming. So it's time to grow up, that's how I look at this thing, right? But at the same token, it's hectic as all hell, and it is like, Grand Central Station sometimes, it really is.
That's why I agreed to 2 desks.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be.
well, was it loosey-goosey?
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, there's no one that's gonna deny that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So going back to this, if you just do 5 days for everyone, there's no loophole. You can't be like, hey,
Well, you know what,
make a tee time for me and 3
Right.
of the 4 players are not ready.
yeah, but you know what, so if there's a loophole, it comes down to the revenue again. It all comes back to the revenue. I don't care how you slice it. A pig's still a pig with put lipstick on it, doesn't matter, it's still a pig, right? Call it what it is, right? You're still getting the revenue that you wanted, we still have the revenue that we have. And so,
What if we didn't get the same amount of carts usage this year? Or if we don't get the same driving range usage this year?
Right.
listen,
Or if we don't get the
that's-
same amount of season pass buyers this year? Right? If you guarantee me the same numbers this year, then yeah, we'll
Those
do
are,
whatever you want.
those are, listen,
But
we could never do that, we could never
I
do
know
that.
you can't, that's why.
That's a crystal ball,
I'm
so-
not, right, I'm not guaranteeing myself any numbers, that's why we're proactive in thinking forward with these policies.
Why can't we go with this for the 1 year and see how it works? And if it doesn't, we always have the option to
To back up.
change.
I think you start with a policy like that.
But we already had
You're
that policy.
stuck with it.
Yeah, but the minute you go, there's no going back, let's just
No,
call
you
it,
can-
listen, I've heard this thing a million times, right? You want it.
that's not true.
But
There's no going back.
We went back, we went back many times.
We went to 4. and
When
then
I was
we
on
back-
Park and Rec, we went back,
Yeah,
trust me.
I don't see why you couldn't go back.
right.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah. We have this.
that's like a tax, you have a new tax laws, we're gonna sunset it, then give me a break,
Yeah.
it's never going away, let's call it what
No, I'm sorry, but on Park and Rec, they did something,
I remember.
I don't remember
it is.
exactly.
Right, income tax, throw gasoline on a fire, next thing you know, it's,
They had a meeting full of people and they changed it right then and there,
The way I see it
because
is,
the room got full.
if a resident
It binds
takes advantage of in-person tee times and online tee times, which is only 15 minutes apart, you should be able to get your tee time.
Alright, so there,
And I don't
That's
think,
the way I
the
look at
residents
it.
should, if they get the tea time in person, they shouldn't have the ability to get one online.
well, it doesn't really matter.
No, I
I mean, you know, that's
it's
like-
options, it's not, I'm not saying you do it both ways, you pick one way you want.
You can do them both ways, because that's your option, listen,
know?
Yeah,
you can't pick and choose how you're gonna do it.
If you're a resident that has more than a foursome, well, you gotta come in, right? Or call us, but calling, like you say, it's tough, cause
Yeah, 'cause you gotta-
you gotta
Yeah,
deal with a
somebody
lot of
answer the
people,
phone.
right?
I think people would be
If you
more,
want us to do 30 minutes of in-person, that, we'll even go with that. But to me, a resident that wants a tee time in the weekends, there's multiple avenues to getting those tee times. If you really want it, you come in. If you can't come in, you do it online, right on the dot.
And I think people would be more upset if they couldn't make multiple.
So you know the new software, you know the
Can
new
they handle
software, the minute you book online and you click on a time, you have like 5 minutes to
5 minutes.
finish it, so that you can get it, so.
Yeah, and whoever clicks that time first.
Yes.
Right.
Can the system handle it, or is it gonna overload? I mean,
I mean,
It's
Torrey
probably
Pines
the same.
uses the system, Bethpage uses the system, you know,
okay.
there's bigger courses than
Yeah.
us that uses the system.
I think you're gonna find that more and more people are gonna
Yeah.
go online and call.
As time goes by,
Like-
huh?
Yeah.
How, let's go around the room, how do you make your tea times? Go ahead.
I come in. One of the guys who we play with will come in early in the morning.
Great, so you still have that
A
option.
non-resident,
What's that?
but he's a season pass holder,
That's right.
Well,
correct.
then he's a resident,
so, yeah,
so you still have that option.
how do I do it?
Yeah,
I depend on somebody else to get it out. No, I call, or sometimes I'll go in, if I'm doing a goose run and I'm there at 6:30 in the morning, hey, I'll go in and make my tea time. But, you know, we will generally discuss amongst our foursome or whatever, and you call, or you know, we arrange somebody to call.
yeah.
I'll do both, I'll call or I'll be there, and then, but it's never first thing in the morning, I mean, well, very rare, you know, like I said, if my kids are coming from all over and I wanna get tea time, I'll try to, you know, I'll go there. That's it, it's, you know, or call up, but like Peter, you know, it's dialing for dollars, right, just keep dial.
The
you know.
phone is the last one out.
You wanna get out of, I agree, you wanna get out of that habit, that's a, you know,
That's the worst way out of the three.
Oh my God,
Mr.
give it a
Seven, wait,
break,
you're
Go in
right.
the hall.
I'm in there all the time.
So you're in person.
I'm in person, I'm there at 5:30, I'm trying to beat the other guy to come in.
Yeah.
Lee.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you get your times.
Big bird.
How you do?
How about you, Miss Nancy? You call, right? And you can always call. You know, we're gonna put videos out on how to make online tea times and all that stuff. So
I have a phone that has a very fast redial.
there you go. Yeah, if you want, just
So
call my
I'm worried on
son.
the other lines.
So I'll be honest, my son does it.
How though? How does he do
Usually,
it?
sometimes he calls, most of the time he comes in.
You think your son can do it online?
My son
Yeah.
probably do it faster on time than the
Yeah.
other
Do
one.
you book multiple groups or just one group?
Usually it's just one.
Okay.
Me? I go
You just
in,
let Mark do it.
I go in, I go, no, don't even start yet. I go in, or sometimes I'll call, all depends on how I feel in the morning.
Yeah.
He's calling
You know,
you.
I'm retired, so it doesn't bother me,
Yeah.
you know?
You're tired, you said?
Yeah, I'm tired.
How about you?
I usually go in and, like in the afternoon, I'll call and see what's open. But
Yeah.
like, it's not that day, and it's usually within 3 days that I want a tea time.
For the weekend. But
You don't play
you guys
the
have X amount of tea times blocked out through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, am I right?
For the seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have guaranteed
Monday,
time.
Those are good
Monday and
ones.
Tuesday, and then
If
the
it's
ladies
after
have one.
Ladies
3
are-
o'clock, that's
Oh, yeah,
what I say.
yeah, 3
Right.
o'clock, yeah, okay.
Like as we go around the room, no one told me any urgency of trying to make a tea time, right?
But we
So-
have the ability to go that day early, that's the whole thing right now, so
That's
that's
my
the
point.
big
It's-
nut, so.
So,
It's making residents, you know, they have an advantage.
I know.
Gosh.
Makes them get
How
up in the
about-
morning.
I know, this is.
how about the one resident that makes a tea time for 3 other non-residents?
Yeah, it
It
is.
doesn't matter, it's the resident. Will
What do
always
you mean,
have
it
that.
doesn't
Yeah, but
matter?
the thing is, you're talking about giving the resident, you got one resident, you're giving them an advantage to, but 3, no.
Yeah.
It's,
How's
Yeah, what's
that
the
helping the resident?
It's
March 1st.
only a resident has that ability to make the tea time
For residents,
before anybody
Yeah,
else.
for residents,
Yeah, but they can
No,
make it
for
non-
his group. We,
Yeah.
oh,
that are
that's why we
residents,
do it.
right?
No,
No,
no, that's why.
No,
Then you're
his
cheating the
group.
I would
system.
say if you
I
do
don't
this,
call it
you
cheating.
You're
do
cheating
this,
the, well, I did,
limit that.
you're cheating the
I
system.
hear what you're saying, Jim, I hear what you're saying, but
If you're telling me, to you as a resident, 5 days in advance, or booking a tea time for residents, that's fine. But if you are booking a tea time that includes non-residents, who only have 4 days in advance, you're cheating the system.
Okay, can I ask a question? If we try this and come August, there are 3,000 people at the audience of citizens bitching and moaning. Who says we can't change it?
Exactly,
Who says we can't change it?
exactly. I think we should give it a shot.
I mean,
I'm
I'm more in favor of people doing multiple tea times than a day in advance and limiting like to 2 times.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of non-resident players who play in these groups. So it's not like we're
I don't
losing
wanna cut
money,
them out.
you know? Let's put it to a vote.
The problem is, we have,
The thing is,
go ahead.
we don't have the whole commission here. We don't have Mark here.
Mark's not a vote.
The only one you're missing is Gail,
Can't
The
vote?
only one we're missing is Gail. We have a quorum.
Yeah,
If you have a quorum,
because you can't,
yeah, if you have a quorum, you can vote.
Can I ask you a question? When, is there a tentative date to open up the golf course?
Right now, if weather stays the same, be March 9th.
When's our next meeting?
yeah, that's it.
After that.
Peter, yeah, I can't.
Unless we have a special meeting.
Unless you do a special meeting.
I mean, I'll be, so if there, like the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be traveling every week, I'd be hard pressed to support a special meeting. I mean, I can call in.
You call in.
I don't see why we can't vote on this now
Yeah,
and then.
let's just vote
Listen, I vote that we go.
We already have a motion,
We got a motion.
Alright,
on the table to accept this as is or not,
I
okay?
accept it as it is.
So hold on.
It's just, it's going back and forth.
Multiple bookings up to 4?
Yeah,
Multiple bookings, yeah,
The major
You can
change is
add
5
as
days
is,
The only change, real change is
The
5
only
days.
change, the only change is
and
5 days.
time.
All in favor of the recommended rates, tea time policy as described on this sheet?
Okay.
Aye.
3. Opposed? 4.
So now we have to figure out what we're gonna do.
Who's the 4th person? Who voted?
1,
2, 3,
2, 3, 4.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, yeah.
So now we have to figure out what
Why,
we're gonna do.
tell me which part of it that y'all didn't.
It's the 5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
So that's my only thing,
And
so I'll be honest.
And, do I vote?
No.
That's my only thing, so,
So
You know,
if
we
we
need to
keep
figure-
it at 5 and 4,
then I'm okay.
I'm not taking tea times with 1 resident and 3 non-residents.
I don't think that really matters, because it's been going on now.
Yes, it does, then why do we have 5 and 4 then?
Yeah.
How will you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Why do we have 5 and 4 then?
So let me ask you something, so someone shows up,
That's
I booked.
that's-
Yeah,
4, 3 of my buddies are from out of town, you gonna check IDs for
yeah,
everyone?
and it's gonna make that process slower.
How will you know if they call and make the tea time,
Well, what,
or if they go online?
Well, online, you have to make an account where you're gonna put information like address and stuff like that.
For that one person that calls, so.
no, the person that calls up. So what does it matter whether that, and again, help me out here. So the resident, makes the tea time. It doesn't, to me, I could care less whether they have out-of-towners coming in. And to me, it doesn't, I know what you're saying, but it doesn't matter. Because you know what, that resident, that's their privilege, and that's their right as a resident to be able to do that. That's just that's my
I
view.
don't understand why you have 5 and 4 days.
Well, because that's, you know what,
There's
through
a
thick and thin,
perception
through thick and thin, I've been paying for this. Through thick and thin, I've been paying for this. And the break, yeah, you give me a break. Is it really that much of a break? You know, I mean, no.
Yeah,
It is, but it's not. Let's just call it what it is. So,
it's like, you know, at private clubs, you can't bring in guests on the weekends till noon. Right?
Yep.
No, you, now.
That's not true. That's not true. Exactly, it's over like the hill. before noon, we took off at 9 o'clock?
No, I'm saying some, I'm not saying everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Right, think of a private club that says you can't bring a guest till after the 12, right? And then Mr. Smith calls, makes it a tea time for 11, and he puts 4 members in there, right? But Saturday comes and he brings 3 guests with him at 11 o'clock. Do you think that Mr. Smith is playing? He's not.
No?
The answer is no.
That's private.
I'm
No,
saying that it's
I
a
agree.
rule,
Yeah.
right? Policies and rules. If you're gonna make me make policies and rules,
So what's the
I
current
gotta
policy?
go with it.
What's the current policy?
Well, if you're saying 5 days for non-members,
No. What I'm saying is, 2022, I call up and make a tea time. I get 3 of my relatives from out of town. What would have happened? Nothing.
No, because you're a resident, you put your name in.
So why are we changing that?
Cause we're worried about the revenue that's gonna come in this year.
No.
No, but-
Sure.
No,
when
but
he
again-
brings 3 residents, we still make
But
revenue,
again, I'm
right?
asking the question. He's indicating that he wants to make a change. My question to him is,
Yeah,
if that's not what we did in 2022, why does he feel he has the right to do that in 2023? Because I disagree with him.
Because he's the director.
I don't care, we're the
No,
commission.
that-
He's
that's,
drawing up the policies.
well, if you're telling me in 22, you were able to do that, well, someone wasn't doing their job.
I disagree,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
everything's agree or disagree, right?
No, this is open discussion,
It
that's
is
all
what
this
it
is.
is, yeah, you're lying.
No,
Yeah.
it's an open discussion, we all have opinions, and we all,
Right.
and it's just the way it
Well,
is.
if you're telling me, right, you had 5 days for residents and 4 for
To
non-residents,
make a tea time,
Make
it
a
doesn't
tea
matter who's
time.
in that tea time.
well, making a tea time is making a tea time. Right, if you're telling me your residents were doing that, that's not right,
Why?
because it's against the policy
What policy?
that non-residents get 4 days.
So
They didn't
I'm
make a tea
showing,
time,
I'm
the
showing,
resident did.
I'm making the tea
Those
time.
four-
I'm a resident, I pay taxes in town, I
Yeah,
support that golf course.
yeah,
I wanna bring 3 of my friends from out of town as my guests.
wait 4 days,
Why?
because you're bringing non-residents.
I'm a resident,
Well, I'll make you a tea time,
I'm a resident.
I'll make you a tea time.
So my response is gonna be, if a resident makes a tea time, right, and brings 3 people in,
Yeah,
they're treated as a resident. Why? Because the resident made the tea time.
and where's that?
So that's.
So you wanna change something.
Where's that policy?
But you wanna change it based on what?
I'm just looking at it black and white.
No, Saul,
Residents
Saul,
and
that puts,
non-residents.
then forget about the multiple tea times, forget about all that, because all these multiple tea times have a bunch of non-residents in it.
Well,
I don't
I'm
think
trying to
multiple
work with
tea
you.
times is a compromise
But-
here.
But so I'm gonna ask you this, you're saying you're trying to work with us, we're not working against you, we represent the town,
mhm,
right? You represent basically the
myself,
golf, well, no, more than
No,
yourself,
right.
you represent the golf course, right? Cause I'm sure the town manager is gonna look at you, things go wrong and say, hey, what's going on? Be confident he will. So we value your judgment and your opinion on this stuff. But, you know, again, I get back to, we have a budget. Now, the budget is based on a lot of things that we don't know if the weather's gonna be beautiful all year.
Right.
We could have a crappy year, right? That'll put a big dent in our budget. But if we put together a budget that said all this is gonna happen based on all these fees and all these things, why are we changing? And if you came to us and said, you know what, we missed something. If you don't do this, we're gonna lose X amount of dollars and we're gonna be in the red. Then I would sit here and I would listen to you and say, all right, we gotta do something. But I don't hear that. What I'm hearing is, let's change for the sake of change. And if you're not gonna do this, then I'm gonna propose that instead. And my response is still the same thing. What did we do before, right? And if that worked, and we broke even or made a little bit of money, why are we changing it? This isn't a case of, you know, you want to propose something and we're not gonna agree with it, well then I'll negotiate with you and do something else. I mean, I'm just kind of sitting here saying, you're coming up with suggestions and proposals, we could vote and say yes or no, and that's it, but to make these changes, unless there's like, hey, we gotta make more money, I don't understand why we're making the changes. And I hear what you're saying, 5 days, 4 days, that's insignificant, but you know where it is significant? You're gonna get a bunch of
People.
people that are gonna look at that and just say, I lost a day. And it's gonna be, yeah, but guys, but
How
hang on,
many people though, in the scope of how many
Yeah, they
people
kinda
that
slipped.
That's gonna
play
come
at
out.
But it-
golf course?
It-
You know, maybe they're just all your friends.
Saul, you know what?
kind of a guy.
Maybe you're coming in here guns a blazing, God bless you, we needed you more than you know.
Yeah.
More than you know, we needed you.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
However, maybe you let this go the way it's been, assess it a few months down the road after we open, we meet, when we say, we look at the numbers and say, you know what, guys, this just isn't working, we have to make this change. You know, this way here, you're a good guy, you're not that guy that came in here guns a-blazing and changing everything, you know?
That's a compromise.
Yeah.
That's a compromise, Sal.
You look at how it is, we go a few months, how does the projection go versus budget versus revenue, how we looking? If things are looking bleak or less than optimal,
Because of the weather, even the weather comes into factor.
we can make a change whenever we want.
And how do you think that'd be received in the middle of the year?
Well, so
You know
so
what?
You explain to them, flat out, listen, we're not,
It wasn't working.
But like
Got
she
something to
said,
back
like
it
she
up.
said, but the thing is.
I
like,
agree that would be tough.
That would be tough, because now you already let, this way, you start here, and then if you see where you're making the money, then you can back off.
Yeah,
I would
then
rather
you
start
back
here,
down, you don't-
then back off.
listen, Jimmy, it's like tax, I come to the same thing, there ain't no taxes ever gonna sunset.
No,
It's
but
just all
the point of it is, I mean, if you, in the middle of the year, you're gonna tell people, oh, now we gotta go up on it.
Jim,
Well, why do you?
Jim, you know what, if our projected revenue and budget were way out of whack, and saying, oh my God, you know, look at these expenses, and we're falling $50,000 short, we have to do something.
We're gonna
there you
know
go.
quick enough.
Then you should.
But everything's pointing to us making money based on the things that we do today. That's the point that they're making. And I'm either way, I don't mind this policy at all,
I understand what you're saying,
I don't
but like
mind
I
this
said before,
policy,
like I
but I
said,
understand
start
what you're
here,
saying.
then, like I said, in the middle of the year, bring it down. Start here, at least you're jumping on top. You can always back down.
Yeah.
Start on top and then back down. Easy.
Wasn't there a big difference to any, I don't play on the weekend. On the weekend, was there a big difference once you went to 4 versus 5?
I don't know, I didn't play a lot.
So you don't play the weekend, I play the
You
weekend,
know what?
you play the weekend.
Truth is, I don't think there was a big difference,
So then why did they?
it was the perception.
Yeah.
It's the perception.
You can't make a change because of, consider policy because of perception.
Why?
Thank you.
Why? We pay into it. We pay into this course, I've been paying into it for almost my whole life.
But I mean, maybe we have to look at
I agree.
We
how
have
it's
to, we have to.
being,
We gotta move on.
Alright, so here, let's just this, can we make a proposal, I'll make another proposal. Right, and whether you like it or not, we can vote on it, we can, whatever you, I'm proposing, we keep it the way it is, reassess it at, at the
July.
April, July, not even, let's wait till, let's look at the June meeting.
Right.
okay.
At the June meeting, we'll reassess, and then go from there.
Because July 1 starts a new fiscal year,
We
right?
keep it the way it was, July 1st is the new fiscal year.
Keep it the way it was last year?
Yeah, with this, with the exception with the 5 and the 4, but with the only exception, 5 and 4, right? You've already gone up in your rates for this, you're in this fiscal year, Saul, so you're still going up, the rates are still going up, it doesn't really matter. It comes July 1st, we'll reassess and then go from there. I'll put that out, as a proposal.
What do you think, Sal?
Will it be another battle
What do you
though?
think of that?
I mean, you're still
I'm here to
not
work with
gonna-
you guys, so
I'm just with that,
I don't wanna go around the office and people tell me I don't involve you guys, so.
No,
Let's just keep it the same,
You do.
But let's
let's keep it the
reassess.
same. We'll reassess at next season,
Oh, we can do it June, like this out.
We're not reassessing in the middle of the year. We'll reassess at the end of the year, and we'll just go from there, right?
Well, why don't we reassess based upon the numbers? We have to track the numbers, I mean, Sal, in all honesty,
At the end of the year.
at the end of the fiscal year.
Oh, we're doing fiscal year
Well,
now.
no. We're doing fiscal
Oh
calendar.
my God, I love him.
Listen,
I don't know
because that's-
what year you're talking about.
the last calendar year is done. It doesn't matter, the last golf season is done. But this golf season, which is your fiscal year, it doesn't really matter.
Let's keep it the same, right?
But people are gonna go by
You know, let's appreciate everyone's opinions and feedback. And I'm not here to rock the boat. I'm not here to change things. You know, I'm only here for 2 months. And, you know, I do have to observe and watch a little more. So we'll just keep it the same and we'll go from there.
So I'll be the first one to tell you, rock the boat, buddy.
No, no, you're doing a good job.
So,
No, it's not personal stuff.
You may not agree with it, but I'm telling you, rock the boat.
Rock the ball,
We're
I
actually
agree.
keeping everything the same. You know, we're card attendants, they're just gonna keep their feet up. Starters, they're not gonna do their job. I'm gonna observe and watch, and then we'll reassess at the end of the
It's
year.
fair.
No, that was a joke, I hope.
It is.
You know,
Yeah, that's all, okay.
they didn't get that.
No, they didn't get that. I got
I
it.
heard what he said.
What's that?
I didn't hear that.
Because what he said was absolute fact.
Are you
What
hard
do you
to
mean?
put the feet up?
Yeah, I had them.
No. Okay.
All right, so
Listen,
that's,
sometimes you gotta relax.
can we close this discussion now?
Yeah,
Well,
Oh,
so we voted not to, but Jim put a motion on the table.
he just made a suggestion.
All right,
That was not a motion.
I'm not changing.
And I don't blame, I don't,
no,
I see Saul's point too, you're gonna rock the boat. Saul, I do have one question. Are carts gonna be here before the season opens?
No,
No,
Alright,
it's gonna be just lockers?
No, you still-
No,
the only reason
you're talking about the new cars?
Yes.
yeah, the new cars,
No, not till April, May.
April or May, okay.
Well,
That's
they have
better
to
than June or July.
exactly.
They have to
So,
keep-
because we are raising the rate significantly on the carts.
Because of
The new
New
car.
utility costs as well.
No, good, well,
Because
you
what?
know what, as long as we're all in agreement,
I know what you said, so I'm sorry.
Because of utility.
utility
Yeah,
costs,
yeah.
everything else, so,
Okay, so we
you
can
know,
fly.
because I don't want somebody to come and say, I'm paying $3 more for this crappy cart. Yeah, you got it.
Well, they all are, everywhere you go, their price and cars went up.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but our main goal was to raise them because we're getting a new fleet, so as long as we're all in agreement there.
The cost of
Fuel.
fuels.
Yes.
Mhm.
Fair enough, so we don't have to discount carts until the new ones come in or
Understand
nothing, we just go with it.
The clock says.
Their gas.
Alright, clock status,
Yeah,
real
yes.
quick, clock status,
Until,
It's 7:33.
and
well, I wanna be out of here by 8 o'clock.
about the clock, until I get a meeting with the 50th commission, I don't wanna talk about the clock.
Okay, so do you have a meeting planned?
Anyone scheduled?
Do you,
No one has reached out to me for a meeting, so.
Well, the staff, I mean,
You're part of that commission
I am.
or committee?
yes,
I am too.
If you are too, if you wanna set some time to talk about your options and alternative plans, I'm there for you. But until then, I don't wanna talk about it.
and listen, what we do know, what we do know is that it is not dead, but it's just not happening right now. They are going to reassess, they're gonna reassess in around May timeframe of how the course is doing. And if things look good, like we're projecting them, then we hopefully they will see fit or see it, see that we could get a couple of bucks for that clap. That's all I'm gonna say to that. It is not a dead issue,
it's
but they will not give us the money right now, because
There is
the money's
something
been
that-
allocated.
and I don't wanna change the subject at all, cause it's still, and I won't elaborate on it, but could you check with us, I'd like to know, with capital improvement money, cutting trees down, I think that's more of a maintenance cost, and shouldn't be coming out of capital improvements. Because if we could secure the capital improvement side of getting spent, we will have money to do the other things that we have to do.
what haven't we been able to do?
The clock.
The clock,
You were telling me that's a course improvement?
a capital improvement? I think so.
Beautification.
When I asked you last meeting, you said it's aesthetics
It's a capital improvement.
on the golf course.
Yes, I think that the clock is. I think cutting trees down is a maintenance charge. I'm just asking.
So just,
When you
you're,
cut trees down, you're improving air circulation for greens, sunlight for greens. That to me is course improvement. When you
Yeah.
put a clock on the first hole, that's not improving the course at all.
Okay, well then you clarified that with me.
hey, Saul, I think what Jim is referring to too though, is that we have dead trees that have to come down, okay? The ones that, course improvement trees, I get it, perfect, you're right. That's the trend for all golf courses now, are less trees. But the ones that are dead, that have to come down, we pay for that out of our own pocket. At Sage Park, if there's a dead tree and that has to come down, the town pays for that tree. If it comes down at any other town park facility, the town pays for that diseased or dead tree because it has to come down. That's the difference.
How
And
big
we-
are these trees?
Pardon me?
How big are these trees?
Could be big, small, whatever.
I mean,
But distinctive trees takes care of them. But no matter what tree we take down at the golf course, we pay for it.
Can I ask a question? I walked the course today,
Mhm.
all right? Walking down number 10, where the pavement is, going all the way down 10 and 11.
That was the
All those,
town.
did the top,
Hey, Tom,
that's all I wanted to know.
Town paid for that.
Okay,
Town did that.
all right, that's all I wanted to
Town-
know.
The town cut that, the town cut.
The town paid for that.
Alright, so I'm good, I'm good.
And I verified that with Erosion. The
If
town
we-
paid for that.
if we did not use CIP for distinctive trees, I would have to put a budget line for 20
Yes.
grand. And then we'd have to raise.
So the question
raise
is,
rates again.
that's not the question. For course improvement, yes. But, I mean, maybe we could discuss diseased or dangerous trees as a separate item, whereas the town could treat Timberland like they do any other town that has to cut down a tree. If we're taking a tree down for more circulation or things like that, that's on us. We should pay for it. That's our choice. But if a tree's dead and it poses a danger to a golfer or a walker on the side, you know what? Treat us like every other town facility and have the town pay for that.
The town
That's all.
doesn't take care of it.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Fair.
I'm gonna have that discussion with the next person, I'm gonna
Yeah.
approach Steve Wood on that, because, and I'm bringing, just, so I drive by Pistol Creek every day, which is how I know that they don't have anybody there in the morning walk,
Yeah.
right?
Tell that to Counselor, oh, never mind.
Never mind. But, for maybe a week and a half, I can't even think of the name of it, Savage Hill Road.
Yeah.
Going towards Middletown.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, on the Berlin side, right? They had town crews cutting all those trees back.
Yeah.
And they did Atkins too.
Yeah.
Atkins, they really cleaned it up, and that was on the Berlin side.
Which is, you
That
know,
was
don't
last
forget, you know what? We pay for our own trash containers too. Okay, we pay for our own refuse, 4,000 a year or whatever it is on the
I'm gonna
budget.
ask Steve.
And should, and
And every
the
other,
golf course paid for that,
we pay for that.
so the town should pick up.
The town should treat this as any other town
Right.
facility. If that's, I've said that all along, that's not news. Okay,
To get back to the tea time policy, how about the time of how to make tea times?
what you have there?
Yeah.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's not just 4 and 5 days, right?
Yeah, everything
I
else.
just wanna make sure we're on the same page.
No, you got it.
No,
No, that's
Saul, thank you for working with us on that, seriously. Your
you are a
job,
breath of fresh air, believe
your
me.
job's not easy.
You are.
Trust me.
Not with this well.
And nothing that happens is ever personal in this room.
Yeah.
Peter, are we going into donations?
Make a motion
Can I
to,
make,
go ahead.
Go ahead,
Make a motion, all
Can I
three,
make-
one.
Can
can I make a
bundle.
motion that since they're all Berlin,
Yeah.
get a Berlin High, Berlin Theater, and Griswold Elementary, we should treat them all as the same.
Yep, yep.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
discussion?
I'm only
Opposed?
gonna bring, town donations up,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Yes,
cause there's been a lot already.
Oh, you're gonna get tons of them.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
make a motion now to accept for the donation, right?
Yep.
And I'll do that.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so all donations presented in the packet are approved.
Yes.
And, you know, Solly, we talked about, having some sort of number, ahead of time, so that we don't have to go to council every time we want a donation accepted.
What do you mean?
No, they said they didn't care.
Oh,
Because
they
it was
don't?
all, no,
Okay.
they said because it was all town only, right?
It was all
And-
Right,
and-
okay, so,
Like how many we give?
Yeah, and we had to track it for them, how many we have and how many we give out.
So as long as
we're
Number come,
redeemed.
yeah.
so these don't have to go to council? We-
No,
Okay,
there
good,
was something else that came up, they came up with charity, they said, no, we don't have to do that anymore.
fine.
As long as it's all town.
But I thought it still has to go to council.
Because if
You wanna
town-
check that out,
Yeah.
because if you do, then maybe we could have a certain
Like
stipulation, like anything from town, we do, anything else we don't, no exceptions, and
What
don't
do we
have to-
donate, foursome with
Foursome with
cards?
cards.
force of the cart, yeah. Okay, golf restaurant coupons, I don't know what that is.
What's that?
So Ramsey said in the past, let's say on a Wednesday, you play 18 holes with a card, you get like a $5 coupon with them. Do you guys remember that?
Hey,
There's a little
Yeah,
problem with
yeah, was
that.
that a ticket?
Yeah,
Was that-
there's a
No,
little
no,
problem.
it's difference.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
It was $5 off the meal, wasn't it? Not on the golf, it was on the meal, I thought.
The
Yeah,
coupon
the
for
coupon.
Yeah, I thought
for
it
the
was-
restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the restaurant.
10% on the-
We
in other words,
Five
there was a
dollars.
special on the register,
Right,
for every time you bought a foursome with a cart, $5 would come off of the top and go to Ramsey.
On a specific day.
Specific
Or
day or
always.
specific fest, special, whatever
Got
it
it.
was. But that's the deal, what he did lately was he put, bring your receipt into the restaurant after you're around, you get 10% off. So,
There was a problem with
And
coupons
here's-
that he was just taking the $5 whether they came in or not.
This is
So,
the
it's like,
correction.
no, it doesn't work that way, it's, if you redeem it, that's fine,
That's
if you
right.
don't redeem it, well then, that's, all bets are off, but
It sticks with the
the
town.
numbers never change, how's that happen?
so, are you asking if you wanna do, cause that's gonna cut into.
Yeah, I was
what-
gonna
what do
ask
you-
everyone's opinion, cause I'm thinking like on a Wednesday, you bring, a foursome with cards, we give you this coupon. So $4 or $5 coupons,
$20.
right?
Does that come off the top? Who pays for it?
Well, that's something I have to figure out, but the coupons he brings to the town and the town pays him.
It should, I come back to, those coupons should only be paid out that are redeemed
That day.
that day. And if there's, the foursome says, I'm not eating at Ramsey's, I'm going to Portofino's.
Right.
You know what, he doesn't get the $20.
He doesn't get the $20, right?
Right, we're only agreeing with that
You
one?
know what, could we, let's, think about that, and
Sure.
then we'll table it until the next meeting, and we'll lock something down.
Yeah, and think about it, that excludes leagues too, they take cards out.
Yeah, I mean, the only
No,
thing
like,
is,
no, but that's on
normal
the,
play, like
during the
non-league,
day.
Alright.
yeah.
not legal.
yeah, just remember that cuts out of our bottom line,
Maybe.
because somebody's gotta pay for that.
I'll come up with a policy or a
Suggestion or something?
suggestion
Good.
for next meeting.
Alright, ranger usage,
Mark tells me we need rangers in the late afternoons, and that's about it. So when do we need rangers?
Weekends, I don't know, that's.
yeah, I mean, well,
Well,
Morning,
Like, let's just talk Monday to Friday first.
you know what, I think, Nancy, seniors,
Do you
I
need
think you guys do a fine job, I mean, of policing yourselves, you find yourselves to be slow?
sorry, Bill. The senior men are-
Senior men?
You need rangers Monday,
Try that on
Tuesday?
camera.
No.
How? Okay.
So, what do you
The only concern that I have during the week, and I think we're gonna resolve that issue this year, is that we're gonna have GPS
Yeah.
to control the cars from not going
That's
close
true.
enough to the green.
Notorious.
Because there was groups, and when I ranged for 2 weeks, because I couldn't take it anymore, alright, this is a few years back, your group, alright, were the big offenders going right up against the damn, green. And
Yeah,
they-
I've seen once in a while.
You gotta tell them.
and it was a certain group, it was a certain group,
Yeah.
alright, I'm not gonna mention any names, a certain group that would do that, and you could talk to them, they were blue in the face, they would still continue doing what they're doing. And I think by having the GPS on there and controlling where those cars are gonna go this year,
Well,
it's gonna resolve
and
this.
Shut it down.
If you're gonna do handicap, we gotta come up with some way to prove that you have a handicap.
Oh, there's a million of them.
Because right now, can I have a handicap card? Yeah, sure. I feel good.
What
Don't
do
they
you
have a
consider,
policy?
Yeah.
Tom, tell me, what do you consider, what are you gonna consider slow play?
I mean, our course policy is 420.
Yeah, we
Okay.
discussed it last time.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm
Fair,
not
okay.
gonna veer off from that.
Oh, I think weekends definitely.
I think, I would go with the
We all
weekends.
agree.
Now, late afternoons, the reason why I think Mark is saying that is because people sneak on the golf
Right.
course.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what, I'm sorry, I misunderstood where you were going with this.
So-
Yeah,
Well,
yes,
For
yes.
ranger,
Yeah, and-
ranger usage.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
I mean, could they use them for the leagues? I don't know, I don't play in it.
Yeah, they could use them for the leagues, yeah.
So that's a double, so that's a
Yeah.
double whammy, you know, you get the leagues moving and you get people from stopping.
You wanted the fraud on the play, is where you're going with this thing.
That and when do we have to police pace of play? Like obviously, like weekends, I'm sure, not right from the get go, but maybe mid
In
morning
the afternoon.
to the afternoon.
Morning.
One of the things
Yeah, I
I
would
see,
start like 9:30.
Yeah.
That's good because you made the turn by then, and a lot of people.
there's a league that plays in front of us. And when I have a league on, I play on Wednesdays, Fisons, slowing it all up.
Well, sometimes the men do that.
Yes,
seen it.
yes,
We've done that, I've done that, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, we've done
I think
that.
everybody's guilty.
Well, if you're a 4 or 5, it's still the same time.
Yeah.
If you're quick, it doesn't really matter,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, technically,
If
you're
you
not
have
supposed to
5
have
people
5
talking.
zones, right? But, you know, there are occasions where it's okay.
You got 3 to 2 some behind them, it's like, well, just join us and just keep going and,
Yeah,
you know.
So it was a 7 some at Rockledge today.
Seven,
the
you said?
rangers,
7.
Oh,
course rangers,
They moved
they're
it up.
responsible to make sure all the rules are being abided by.
yes, I mean, that's from pace of play to card usage, like if one person purchases a cart and the other person doesn't, and then he starts jumping in the cart, the ranger will catch that, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's so good.
Have you hired rangers already?
yes.
I told Sebby that I'm gonna get a lounge chair when we get these new cards. And I'm gonna sit right by 17. And that back line and just watch the fireworks when these cards shut down.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
It'd be tough for some people.
I hired 3 just rangers, but everyone can be a ranger.
Plug and play.
When I interviewed everyone, I made sure to tell them, yeah, you're applying for a card attendant staff or a starter, but if I need you to ranger, you're gonna range.
That's a good way to do it.
So,
But I have 3 just rangers, so.
so you're looking to only use the rangers at certain times,
Well,
not?
that's what the open discussion was
Yeah.
about.
That's what I'm doing now.
Which is smart because, I mean, you know, we're paying for these
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
I
right?
retired once already.
And it's in the budget, so I wanna make sure we use it properly.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the extra hours to stop the fraud and people sneaking on, they just wait till they leave, I mean, seriously, you'll see
Well,
that.
I mean, if we have a ranger till like 8 PM,
Well, I don't know if you need that
Yeah,
bad,
well,
but you know, I know what you're saying.
that was one of the.
So, you know what, I think you're gonna find out pretty quickly, based on your experience of when you need the rangers and stuff
Yeah,
too.
you'll
I mean, in the
know right
beginning, you know, we'll suggest, but you're gonna know within, by the
Yeah.
time May
It'll
hits,
itself
you're
out.
gonna know.
You're gonna have to observe and watch, right?
That's it, that's it.
You'll see, no, you'll
You'll
know,
see,
you'll know
yeah.
real quick, man.
You will know, I mean, you'll be riding around too and stuff. All right, Timberland, FY 23 P and L, any questions?
I think there's an error in what they did, but you can look at that, you have revenue coming in, and at least that's what it showed up as. It equals the same as the wages, it looks like. At least it showed up on the spreadsheet like that, right?
This one?
That's the one. The only passes green fees for 2023, it's the same as wages and salaries. You see that? You got 663,000 in there. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do, what you're doing there, so. You see this?
This is more like year to date, I think, this one.
It says fiscal, alright, well, whatever, I didn't understand it, that's all.
Just, if you look at the
I don't
one
know.
with, I think this is more of the year to date
The year to date,
Yeah.
okay.
for the fiscal years.
I think what he's saying, that number and that number.
They're the same, the wage,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
something's odd, right, something's off. You know what I mean? Just check it out, that's all.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, so the chances that happen are,
It's pretty slim.
Yeah, that's across the.
almost like Joe making one of our meetings.
I heard that. Even though I'm reading this, I did hear that.
Oh, Joe.
And I am a sensitive man.
You almost ran me over when I was walking.
Alright,
Oh, wait, I got one thing on open discussion before we go to the elections. Listen, we're gonna have to deal with this sooner or later, and the town will too, cannabis on the course.
no,
No, it's true.
If you're saying on the course, are you counting outside of the golf shop, driving range, restaurant, or just golf course?
Just golf course. As far as, I don't, you know, I don't know.
I would make it parallel to like cigarettes and cigars, right? Do we have policies for those?
You can smoke on the,
You could smoke
on
cigarettes and
Well,
cigars on the course.
no, listen, the town has a policy that we don't really enforce up at Timberlandville.
What's that?
25 or 50 feet from the building.
From the
Okay, so you can't, I'm all for nowhere near the building or the driving range. You know
That's my experience of. I'm not saying cannabis. I'm just saying smoking in general. My experience is away from the building and driving range.
Cause there's kids,
Yes.
and
That's,
it's all about the
Many people.
kids.
There's-
Right, no, I get it, but for the most
Yeah.
part, it's about the kids with the cannabis,
Yeah.
right? So, listen, out on the course is out on the course.
Obviously, if we catch people like just
Well,
just throwing their
I mean,
garbage around, that's one thing. But we're not
the-
gonna
the
enforce, a rule.
The town is
where-
coming up with some sort of policy.
Okay.
Cause
I
I did talk to Roche, cause when you asked me that, I wanted.
we just gotta get
back
on,
straight.
listen, just get on everybody's mind. It's gonna happen, right? So the question is,
Yeah,
I don't want it around kids, right? I mean, we have a lot of the little junior programs going on.
right.
Last thing you wanna do is see, rolling papers or cigarettes or
Yeah.
whatever, and have smoking joints all over the place, or, you know what I mean? That's where
I
I'm,
mean, police department suggested we just make it parallel to just smoking in general, not what are you smoking.
Right.
okay,
But so smoking in general, it's got to be away from the building and the practice facilities.
good, alright. I just get out,
Just for like what you said, there's many kids.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, there's a lot of people that just step outside the door of the restaurant and smoke right there on the patio.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, that.
Well, yeah, you're right, I mean, 'cause then how you gonna, I mean, someone comes out from the restaurant, smoke on top of the patio, you gotta tell them, no, they can't smoke there, or they gonna have to post a sign of no
I
smoking
think
in
No
it's
the.
smoking.
signage.
You gotta post a sign up.
Oh, no, yeah, we gotta have
I mean,
put signs up
they
there.
could go
Where's that?
where to the
where,
parking
that's
lot,
better than the parking lot, you're right.
or
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want people
and
smoking pot. in
it's
front of the place.
it's more so cannabis. I mean,
Right.
if you want to be lenient with cigarettes or cigars, that's one thing, but.
Yeah, but how do you do that vaping and,
like what you
if
said
you just generalize
Just
everything,
smoking in general.
just no vaping, smoking, the rolling papers or anything,
Maybe we'll make like a designated smoking area for the restaurant or something.
Maybe.
Or,
That's what they do.
that's what a lot of
Yeah.
them do, right?
That's
So,
what they do.
Just getting it on front, that's
yeah,
all.
for sure. That's
You're right, it will,
It's gonna happen,
that's gonna hit us this year.
Yeah. This is it.
that will include everyone from patrons to staff and all that stuff. So.
Okay.
That one. Staff,
couple of minutes here.
not with cannabis, just.
Alright, election of officers, I just wanna say that it's been an honor serving on this commission as chairman since its inception. But I am no longer interested in doing so. I think it's time to spread it out a little bit, let somebody else do it. So, God bless, thank you. With that being said, are there any nominations for chairman?
I nominate Jim Norton for chairman.
I'll second it.
Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have to abstain.
Opposed? Okay, Jim, congratulations, and welcome.
Well, thank you, Peter, for all you've done.
Peter, thank you.
Thank you, Peter, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jim, congratulations.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Drink a lot of coffee.
Now you got the wild bunch.
That's all right. We
All right,
can-
and with that said, nomination for vice chairman.
Who wants
I
vice chair?
nominate Gail for vice chairman.
Gail is not, well, she's not here, and I know that she's not interested.
No?
Well, that's too bad.
I nominate Seth Senia.
I'll
Any other
second that.
nominations?
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'll second, I'll second Seth.
Vice chair?
Huh?
For vice?
Vice chair.
You
I
can
got
do
a lot
vice.
going on at home.
And Gail.
It's not,
Vice.
It's like the vice president, nobody does anything.
Right,
You're in name only.
you're in, so,
it's not,
All you have to
listen,
do
you-
is second the motion.
no,
I mean,
I know what you're going.
you know what I'm going through at home.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm going through at home, you know, so it's like, you know,
If you don't wanna do it, then I'll take my nomination back.
I nominate Jim Burchella.
I'd rather see Jim.
Jim Burchella.
Jim,
Alright, I'll
I'll
second
second
that.
Kim Ugello.
Okay, all in favor?
Gail doesn't want
Thank you.
it? Okay.
Okay,
Designated survivor.
yeah.
Thank you for your offer, Peter, I appreciate it.
No problem.
I just got.
Jim, you gotta get ahold of Tate and let her know.
I'll call Gail tomorrow.
Won't be one of those, email.
Oh, God.
Okay, listen, has everybody read the reports and everything else and the T-signs? I mean, these reports are really good,
Yeah.
really good, so, and Jerry did a good one. Mark did a fine job. Is there anything in particular, Saul, on your report that you wanna hammer or?
For the T-sign?
No, I mean, it's pretty much straightforward, my report, there's not much, I don't have much to add to my reports these days until the season gets going and we actually put things into play, so. I think Mark's and Jerry's are really informative, you know, they really spend time on these things to let you all know what they're up to. And for now, those are front and center, mine will be more, you know, there'll be more stuff in there since.
As the season
Saul,
progresses.
So, hey, Saul, oh, go ahead.
I went up to the course today, I walked the entire course, and I went up by the driving range. It looks like you guys had the, what do you call it, the forms back, and then you moved them up forward again, what happened? You ran into
There was a lot of wiring and
uh,
irrigation and pipes that would be affected too much if we stayed in that position. So, you know, we were trying to do two things there. One is to have a better area to hit from, and two is to get more yardage. We're only able to accomplish the first one. You know, we couldn't move back too much.
course looks in pretty good shape. I
Course
mean,
looks in
I
good
like what you
shape.
guys did on number 4, with the big mound
With the
there.
mounds,
Yeah, the big mound on number 4.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, we can, the course is ready. It's just
Let it heal. Let it
it
heal.
has to, because if you
Yeah.
make a divot right now, it's not gonna heal
Mm-hmm.
until next year. So, you know, there's a fine line to like, it's ready and let's go. But, you know, we're not ready to go yet, cause like next week, we might get snow again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of other places to play.
Yeah,
Let's see if it's open and closed.
One more.
Go ahead.
One more.
It's too
You
late.
know where the car's at?
Yeah.
There's a pine tree right on the corner, alright?
yeah, like on number 10 side?
Yeah, in number 15.
Yeah.
Right on the corner where the carts are parked.
Yeah.
Alright? You can see all the, what do you call it, they're all, where it says come down, they're on the carts. while you guys are cutting out there, is there some things you can cut on that pine?
Then we're done with distinctive trees.
Alright.
Maybe that's something the staff could do when we get everyone back.
Just
Um,
the hangover,
yeah,
Right,
if you just cut that down, and that'll take some of the pine, because once the pine set, gets all in the cuts, and then that, the sap gets on it, and it's tough to get off the
something
cuts.
clean and
Yeah,
And I know like in meetings past, you know, you guys ask if we're able to like borrow equipment. We'll probably borrow equipment for that, and actually this week we borrowed a dump truck for 2 days.
I saw it out there
see,
today.
see,
I saw it out there today.
Yeah.
see,
I saw it out there today.
see the thing?
You were able to borrow
Yeah.
Parts though.
Right. You gotta ask.
It's just good timing that they're not using it, right? Cause there's one dump truck for obviously facilities and everyone
Right.
else, so they weren't using it, so we borrowed it for 2 days to accomplish some things on number one with filling in
With
the
the filling?
bunkers,
Right.
so.
You saw it,
Go ahead.
the range mats, you bought new ones already? What'd you get?
We just got 5x5 range mats, 6 of them, brand new. I know, you know, some clubs and stuff wanted to donate, but what they asked for relative to the donation, I don't wanna go through.
It's
So,
not a donation,
It's not a donation.
let's just call it what it is.
Right.
so if,
Listen, are these gonna be rotated and cleaned on a regular basis?
well, it has to. I wouldn't say like every week, every month.
No,
but,
but, yeah,
You know,
okay.
that's why we went with the 5x5s instead of the continuous mat. It was only like a $2,000, $3,000 difference, but with a continuous mat, you're not able to rotate them, and I mean, they say longevity is long, but if you're able to
Yeah,
rotate
once
the
you wear it,
mats,
you gotta
there's
replace
more-
it.
Just get more wear out of it.
Alright, can I make a suggestion to you, seriously, and just to stop a lot of the hearsay and the rumors that are going around, because I went to Cody's today and somebody came, you know, started, these rumors, like, what are you talking about, what, you know?
rumors.
Rumors about the course and what was.
Our course?
Yeah, our
Okay.
course, right?
Yeah.
I got a phone calls on Peyton, a foyer, a 2-story foyer, and it's like, you know, can we, you know, and I've said this before, communication, and you've said this too, is key. Communication in everything we're doing is key. You have access to the emails or everybody's emails, just send out a blast, introduce yourself, here's what we're doing on the course. It'd be a stupid word, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? And that communication, I think, will resolve a lot of,
Soon,
a lot of issues,
to
let's just say.
extend your point, soon, when our new POS system is up and running in the next couple of weeks, we will have this blast email to like get your accounts ready, but also to introduce myself. We just re-up with Tyndall Creative, so you know, they do a newsletter every month.
Mhm.
Every day there's a post for different departments, so, you know, my time to introduce myself will come. It's just
Well, it's a good way to,
slow
even what's
down.
going on with the range,
Well,
you know, that's what,
you're absolutely correct, you know, not just the range, but
everything.
what else we do,
Everything,
you
yeah,
know,
everything,
course,
we have a new POS system,
yeah,
even,
everything,
you know,
the golf
whatever.
shop,
Yeah, just get it out earlier than.
Yeah, so I know that was already in plans with Tyndall Creative, the marketing,
Don't do it after you open, I do it before you're.
No, before.
I mean, way before, so people.
yeah, she starts technically March 1, so right from there, like
She's really
even
good.
March 3rd, Ramsey's got a dinner we're gonna promote right away, so,
Good.
you know, things like that, so.
Even through the men's club, right? I mean, it's a new men's club, everybody's online, right? They can have,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you,
just get the list or send them something and, you know, whatever, you know.
we're making it mandatory for you to put an email in when you make an account. So it's easy for us to,
Yeah.
Okay.
not just market, but to get a hold of you if we have a delay that day or,
That's
Yeah.
right,
you know,
yeah.
things like that, so.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good.
Thank
Good.
Motion to adjourn? Oh, go ahead.
Second?
Me,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Oh,
Thank you.
I gotta see what time it is. He was too, he was one
Thank
day.
you, Sal, for
He said
listening.
he-
So.